Hi, I'm Jerry Thompson, co-founder and chief executive officer at Ambit Energy. Thanks for joining us today. My family has seen a number of windows of opportunities over the year. I'd like to tell you about one that began over 100 years ago when my grandfather was a small boy growing up in Oak Cliff, a small town across the Trinity River from Dallas, Texas. His next door neighbor ran an ice plant, and every summer he had the opportunity to work there. Too small to lift the ice, he started in the stables, cleaning and feeding the horses that pulled the ice wagons. But over the years, he grew strong enough and began delivering the ice into homes for the ice boxes. After graduating from the University of Texas, he returned to Dallas and entered the only business he knew, the ice business. With his past experience and college degree, he soon became president of the company. One day, an ice house manager named Uncle Johnny Green approached my grandfather and said, "Jody, customers are asking if we'd sell them groceries. We're located in their neighborhoods and have longer hours than the grocery stores. We could keep the perishable items cold in the ice house and put the canned goods and bread and other items outside on the dock." My grandfather liked the idea. He saw a window of opportunity and gave him money to buy some groceries. A year later, Uncle Johnny Green came back and said, "Here's your original investment, and here are your profits." They both smiled and decided to put groceries in all of the ice houses. And that was the beginning of the convenience store industry. In the late 1940s, my grandfather owned 3 ice companies in Dallas, and there were 3 local newspapers. Every time he wanted to place an ad, he had to run 9 ads, 1 for each company and 1 for each paper. It was cumbersome and expensive. He needed one name. So he approached a local advertising firm and explained his problem. He said that his ice stores were open every day of the year except Christmas, from 7 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. The advertising firm told my grandfather that they would call him back as soon as they had an idea. The phone rang the next morning. They told him this was the easiest assignment they had ever been given, and that he should name his ice stores 7-Eleven. While our family is no longer involved, today there are over 60,000 7-Eleven stores. More than any other retailing concept in the world, more than McDonald's, Starbucks, or Subways. Worldwide revenues are now approaching $100 billion. And it all started in a small ice house in Oak Cliff, Texas. I grew up working in the 7-Eleven stores, and I always knew I wanted to go into business on my own. I just didn't know when the opportunity would arise. My first company was Caprock Communications. I saw a window of opportunity with new fiber optic technology that would dramatically lower the cost of long distance calls. We built a massive fiber network across the Southwest, and then the internet appeared from nowhere with an almost insatiable appetite for bandwidth. We were in the right place at the right time. We sold Caprock, and in the summer of 2005, I submitted an application to become a retail electricity provider in Texas. Deregulation had begun 3 years earlier, and it was another window of opportunity. By the end of the year, we'd received all of our green lights and regulatory approvals. By spring, we were ready to test our first generation back office systems. My parents became our first customer, and everything worked. It was time to start gathering customers. We wanted to acquire customers at a low cost that would pay their bills and stay loyal. One of our guys suggested direct sales. He said if I was interested in that direct sales model, I should meet Chris Chambliss.
I'm Chris Chambliss, co-founder and chief marketing officer at Ambit Energy. Like Jerry, I too have been the beneficiary of incredible timing. In fact, my very first job out of college placed me at the forefront of one of the most exciting transformations in history, the deregulation of the telecommunications industry. In 1994, I took a job at a small startup long-distance company in Dallas, Texas, working for 2 founders who were convinced that their company could put AT&T out of business. To say I was skeptical is probably an understatement, but the company had a unique sales approach, and they were growing fast, and there were opportunities for advancement. So I stayed there. And what happened over the next 10 years was an epic American success story of record-breaking revenue and customer growth. A few short years later, that little startup had enrolled over 6 million long-distance customers and became the 4th largest long-distance provider in North America. all without spending a single dollar on advertising. And that was our secret. Instead of spending millions of dollars with big media companies on expensive television commercials and outdoor billboards, we shared our profits in the form of commissions with a network of independent entrepreneurs who were determined to improve their own financial future and were excited to help their friends and family save money. All the technology and content we take for granted today, mobile devices, wireless internet, online music and movies, social media, they all exist as a result of the telecom breakup. Billions of dollars moved from old monopolies to innovative providers like the one I worked for. Consumers saved millions and enjoyed better service, and ordinary people from all over America earned thousands by participating in the process. I understand the opportunity presented by an industry that is deregulating, and I knew energy was even bigger than telecom. So when Jerry called me to discuss his idea to sell electricity with a similar model, I got very excited. I knew electricity would be a perfect fit. People use it every day without even thinking about it. It's already part of their monthly budget. So we met on a Friday at a Potbelly's sandwich shop to discuss the opportunity and to get to know one another. I liked Jerry immediately, and I gave him a few things to think about over the weekend. The next day, we were in front of a whiteboard in a conference room he had borrowed from his brother's company, and we began thinking about and outlining what kind of company we wanted to build.
Chris and I wanted to build something we would be proud of. We knew that every time a consultant would approach someone about becoming an Ambit customer or consultant, they would be putting their reputation on the line, and they would be trusting that Ambit would get it right and would deliver as promised not some of the time, but all of the time. And we wanted to be worthy of their trust. We wanted to make them proud of their association with Ambit. So our first decision was to build the finest and most respected retail energy provider in America. And that was a big statement for a small startup company with only a couple of customers. But it made every decision since that much easier. We moved into our 100-year-old warehouse space in the west end of downtown Dallas. Everyone sits in the open. We have no offices. We handed out $19 fold-up tables from Walmart to everybody. They're cheap and they're not really attractive. And we were told that people would assume that we had no money and they'd be afraid to join us. We responded that we were going to invest our money in great people and outstanding systems, not in fancy offices or elegant furniture. The smart people would understand that and don't worry about anyone else. 11 years later, our executive team still sits at those $19 tables. Based on our previous telecom experiences, Chris and I knew that operationally we would be a data processing company. Companies in the telecom boom with solid back office systems and processes thrived and prospered. Those lacking good systems capsized and sank when they were hit by that data tidal wave. We would ultimately succeed or fail depending on the quality of our systems. John Burke, our CIO, searched but couldn't find any off-the-shelf systems that met our standards. So we rolled up our sleeves and decided to build our own. We decided to be unconventional. The pros in the industry snickered. They thought we were crazy. No one builds their own systems. We heard it and we ignored it. We didn't want to be like everyone else and have the same results as everyone else. In fact, we didn't even want to think like everyone else. We didn't hire anyone from the electricity industry for over 4 years. Any information we needed, we Googled to find. Startups never have enough time or capital to build perfect systems. We know that what got us here to where we are today won't be strong enough to take us where we want to go. So our IT philosophy has always been, never let good enough be good enough. And with that attitude, today our patented systems are the operational qualitative difference between us and all of our competitors.
After spending almost a year getting our foundation in place, Jerry and I started Ambit's sales channel the exact same way a new consultant joining Ambit today would. We made a list of 10 people we knew who might want to join us in our efforts to take advantage of the opportunity we saw out there. 6 of them told us no. And of the 4 people who said yes, only 2 really went to work. So what started with 2 people and a pretty humbling dose of rejection has become one of the fastest growing companies in history. Today, Ambit has over 1.2 million customers and over $1 billion in annual revenue. We've been named by Inc. magazine as the fastest growing private company in America. The industry publication Direct Selling News consistently ranks Ambit among the top 15 direct selling companies in the world and the largest direct seller of retail energy. We've been listed in the top 100 places to work in Dallas for 6 of the last 7 years, and every year we are consistently ranked at or near the top in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. In short, it's working. Ambit Energy is doing things that no other company in the energy industry is doing. With the help of an outstanding corporate team and thousands of excited independent entrepreneurs who've joined us to create their own path to financial freedom, the vision Jerry and I had in the beginning is becoming a reality.
Our goals today are the same as they were when Chris and I wrote them on a whiteboard at the very beginning. We strive every day to be the finest and most respected retail energy provider in the industry. We want every customer and independent consultant to be proud of their association with Ambit, and we're determined to never sacrifice integrity for growth.
We hope you've enjoyed hearing about the Ambit story and that you'll join our growing team of entrepreneurs. We understand what it takes to help leaders build successful organizations, and we look forward to working with you here in Japan. Please get back with the person who asked you to watch this video and ask them to answer any questions you might have about our company or our opportunity.
We've never been more excited about the future than we are today. We're making a tremendous commitment to Japan, and those efforts will benefit from all the knowledge and experiences we have gained over the past decade. We truly believe the best is yet to come. We look forward to helping you reach your financial goals and dreams, and you have our promise that Ambit will be here to support you every step of the way.